Okay, just to be sure. I don't remember if the last class or, I mean, with me, you didn't have it, but maybe with teacher Jesse, I don't know if you have the activity on Kahoot. Did you work on Kahoot? Any previous classes?
Yes.
Yes, we already,
Yes?
yes.
Okay, very well. And you work on these parts of a speech. Very well. So this help you to identify the parts of a speech. Okay, very well. So you were supposed to check a little bit of the passive voice. Okay, so what we're going to have now is just a review of the tenses, the present, past, and future. Okay, so here we're going to comment when we use these tenses. So here we have the three, right? We have the present tense, the past tense, the future tense. Okay, so present, past, and future. Okay, so there is, okay, present. We have like other subcategories or subtenses that are the simple present, present continuous, present perfect, and present perfect continuous. Here you have some examples. So we will discuss, okay, with your partners what they mean. Okay, so I would like you to tell me about the simple present. The simple present, what is that? When do we use the simple present? There are two things that you need to consider when you talk about tenses. You need to consider the function. Function is how. Why do you use this tense? ¿Cuándo y cómo se utiliza ese tiempo, right? That's function. And the second thing you consider is the structure. The structure is how you create the sentence. The auxiliary verbs, how you change if you need to add the S to the verb, etc. Okay, so that is the structure. Okay, so please tell me, when do we use the simple present?
When we talk about habits
Very
or
well.
facts.
Habits, facts.
Action
What else?
that are happening right now.
Very well. Not exactly for things that happen right now. Careful. This is one thing people confuse. But no, it's not for things that we do at the moment. That is the present continuous. So yes, simple present is for habits, routines, and facts. Habits, routines, and facts. Okay, so a habit could be, for example, I don't know, I eat breakfast at 8. Okay, so it's like a habit. A routine would be like activities, for example, from school, from work, or other hobbies. Some other things that you do in a schedule, right? For example, I start work at 11. Okay, and a fact would be, for example, I like rock music. This is I like rock music. It's not a habit, it's not a routine, but it's just a fact, it's something true about yourself. Okay, so simple present is for these three things. Okay, remember that very often in English, when you say, for example, I go, for example, it doesn't mean at this moment. It doesn't mean at this moment. You would say, like we're going to see in the next tense, I am going. Okay, so when you say I go, I play, I watch, it's not, I mean, you can use it like this in informal English, But remember, the simple present, you don't use it for things that happen at the moment. That's the present continuous. That's why we have present continuous. Okay. Now let's talk about the simple present structure. What is the structure that we follow with simple present?
Subject, verb. When we talk about with third person, we have S and complement.
Perfect. Very well. And remember, in questions, we use do and does, right? When we create the sentence. If you use an auxiliary verb, the verb is in base form. Okay, very well. So we need to explain these things, right? We need to be able to do it with all the tenses. Okay, how about the present continuous? Again, please tell me the function. I already told you a little bit. Tell me the function and then we analyze the structure. Okay, please tell me, Guadalupe, what is the function of the present continuous?
Oh, this is an activity that we are doing and it starts, but it is in the moment, it doesn't finish yet.
Okay, very good. Excellent. So that's an ongoing action.
Yeah.
Ongoing action. Very well. So very good. You start something, you don't finish yet. It's an action that you do at the moment. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it only for things that you do at the moment, or can we use it for other things?
We use them to do a plants. When we have plants, that is in a short period of time.
Plans.
Or an activity that
very good.
I'm going to do in a short time. For example, I'm going to eat in 5 minutes.
Yes, interesting. Yes, the present continuous, you can use it for future. That's correct.
Yeah.
You can say, for example, I'm eating in 5 minutes. So that doesn't mean in this moment, in 5 minutes is the future. Very well. Present continuous, you can use it also for things that have a duration, right? For example, I could tell you, I am, I'm going to the gym these 3 months. Okay, I'm going to the gym these 3 months. So when I'm using the present continuous, not for something that I'm doing at the moment, but yes, I do use it for something that I do during a period of time. So what I mean is that after these 3 months, maybe I won't go to the gym. Maybe I will do something else. Or I am visiting Europe this month. Okay. After this month, I'm not visiting Europe. I am, I don't know. I am working on a project this weekend. Okay, or I don't know. These next 3 days. Okay, so you can use the present continuous for something that you're doing at the moment or for an activity that you will do, like that's why it's also called present, like progressive, because it's something that you will do during a period of time. So you can use it for things that you're doing at the moment or for things that you will do during a period of time. Okay. And like with the other use, also we can use the present continuous for future. Okay, what is the structure for the present continuous?
Is subject or personal pronoun plus a verb with ing and complement.
Very well. So yes, that's what we need, right? Verb to be and the verb in gerund. Yeah. In this case, we call it participle verb.
Okay.
Okay, how about the present perfect? When do we use the present perfect? Tell me about the function of the present perfect, please, Ali.
Me, right? Okay. I remember that present perfect is used here, is used for something that's started in the past and continues in the present.
Mhm.
Or maybe when we are talking about our experience up to the present.
Okay, very good, excellent. So the present perfect is not the present, right? Is the past. But this will be another thing because we have the narrative tenses in English. The narrative tenses are the tenses. Remember, what is a tense? Tense quiere decir un tiempo gramatical. Okay, so the narrative tenses in English are present perfect, simple past. Which other one?
Future.
Past perfect. Yes, this is what we consider the past. Simple present, simple past, past perfect, past continuous. Okay, those are the narrative tenses. So the present perfect is, it refers to the past, right? But it has another use because you use it for things that you did, right? When you say, I have, I don't know, I have eaten grasshoppers. So when you say this, I have eaten grasshoppers, this means that you did the action, but you don't mention when you did the action. So when you mention, for example, yesterday, last week, you don't use the present perfect, you use the simple past. But in this case, you don't mention when you did the actions, you just mention as an experience in your life. We use the present perfect for experience, but the present perfect has another use. Present perfect has other use. What is the other use of the present perfect? I don't know if you already said it, but we said to talk about experience, things in the past, but that's the reason why it's called present perfect. There's one reason, right? Why it's called perfect.
Is that an action that we start before, but it finished?
That it hasn't finished.
It hasn't finished?
Yes, exactly. That's why it's called present perfect. We can use the present perfect for actions that you did in the past, but they haven't, you continue doing it in the present, and you will probably do it in the future. Okay, for example, if I say, I have worked here for, I don't know, 10 years. So when you say this, it means that you work in the past 10 years. You still work, because when you say, I have worked here for 10 years, this doesn't mean that you will leave your work, but you will continue. So this is why it's called present perfect, because of this use. Because the present perfect, you're saying something about the past, but you continue doing in the present, and you will probably continue in the future. So we could say that's why it's called perfect. Perfect, not because it's beautiful or something, but because it's like something that will always be like kind of permanent state. Okay, so you can say, I have lived here all my life. Do I have the intention to stop living there? No, maybe I will continue living there until the day I die. Okay, so that's one of the reasons it's called present perfect. So it can be used for things that happen in the past, but you don't know or you don't mention when they happened, or for activities that you did in the past and you continue doing. Okay, that's present perfect. Okay, and now what is the structure of the present perfect?
Subject or personal pronoun plus have has, and the verb in past participle with must plus complement.
Okay, good. Sorry. One second, I'm going to get some water. Okay. Just want to get. Okay, so yes, that's the use. And you need to use have or has. These are the auxiliary verbs and the verb in past participle. If it's a regular verb, this you use ed. If not, you use whatever the regular verb form is always the third column of the verbs. Okay, very well. Now, what about the present perfect continuous? Rocio, when do we use the present perfect continuous? What is the function? What is the function of the present perfect continuous? Sorry, I can't hear you.
Maybe Rocio has the double mute, or maybe I don't know.
The microphone is on, but the microphone stands still, but I don't know, maybe it's something from your device. Try to check your computer if you're using headphones. Don't use headphones. If you are not using headphones, use headphones because all that can influence. Okay, well, sorry, we cannot hear you at the moment, but maybe we can try later. Pao, when do we use the present perfect continuous?
We use present perfect continuous when we talk about actions happen in past, but have the results have an importance in the present.
Good. Very good. So present perfect, present perfect and present perfect continuous are very similar. Okay. There's not like, wow, a big difference. They are very similar, right? The difference is like, remember, both are perfect, right? Present perfect and present perfect continuous, both are perfect. So what does that mean? That is for an action that you did in the past, you do in the present, and you do in the future. Okay, that's the meaning of perfect. So present perfect continuous is perfect, so it has this requirement. But now you add another ingredient, let's say, that is a progressive action, is a continuous action. So this means that is something that you do, we could say, at the moment, emphasizing. When you do this, you emphasize you make it a little bit more dramatic, we could say, meaning that you are still doing it in the present, and that is an activity that hasn't been interrupted, right? Present perfect too. Present perfect, when you say I have lived here all my life, it means without interruption. But the present perfect continuous is for an activity that you want to emphasize that you didn't stop doing it. For example, if you say, what sounds more dramatic if I say, I worked here many years, for many years, or I have been working here for many years? Which one sounds more dramatic? The first or the second sentence?
Second sentence.
The second one, yes. So both sentences could have the same meaning, but then the second one is like saying, I have been working here. That means without interruption, so many years. So it makes it like kind of more dramatic. And that's when we use the present perfect continuous. It has some restrictions, the present perfect continuous. So when you use present perfect, sometimes it's not possible to use present perfect continuous. When we have stative verbs. Stative verbs. You cannot use the present perfect continuous with the stative verbs. That's very important. What are the stative verbs? For example, the verb to be is an stative verb. Por ejemplo, no puedes decir, I have, I don't know, you can say, I have been, right? You can say, I have been, but you cannot say, I have been, you know? Que sería como, creo que en español se puede poner, he estado siendo, o es siendo estado. No, it's not, it sounds weird, right? I think even in Spanish, it sounds a little bit weird. So you can, another steady verb is the verb know. You can say, I have known. It's correct. I have been knowing is not correct. Okay. I have had. He tenido. I have been having is not correct, because have is an stative verb. Okay, well, so do you have any questions about this?
No, teacher.
No, teacher.
No, teacher, thank you.
Okay, good. So let's see. Next one is the past. Okay, the past tenses. Okay, so we will go here a little bit faster. Please tell me, Cody, simple past. What is the simple past? When do we use the simple past? And also tell me, how do we create the simple past? Cody, Sorry, I cannot hear you.
Yes, teacher. Can you
Simple
repeat,
past.
please?
Yes. When do we use the simple past? And also, what is the structure for the simple past?
The simple past we use when you talk about habits, facts, or routines. The extensions is for affirmative form is subject, verb, and complement. To talk about the negative form is subject, did, didn't, verb in simple past, no, in present simple, in complement, and interrogative form is did, subject, verb in present tense, and complement, and question mark.
Very well. Okay, very well. So remember something about English is very regular. Is like maybe we think that some things are difficult, and yes, some things are difficult about English, but the grammar is very regular, right? It's very, there are not many exceptions, right, when it comes to sentences. But in the simple past, we have the auxiliary verb did. The simple present, we have do. So every tense, they have their auxiliary verb. Okay, so we always need to identify what is the auxiliary verb. Okay, so the simple past, you use it when you know when the things happen, right? For example, this says, she looked stunning on that night dress. When? Yesterday. You don't know when, you use the present perfect. Okay, the next one is, okay, the past continuous. Please tell me, Guadalupe, when do we use the past continuous? And please also explain the structure.
The past continuous is an activity that starts in past, but the action is in present too, and it doesn't finish yet. And the formula is a subject or personal pronoun plus and was where, and then the verb. The verb can be regular or irregular, and the complement.
Good. Okay, thank you. And exactly, so past continuous, usually we use it for actions that were interrupted, that you didn't finish in the past. Okay, so excellent. Past perfect. When do we use past perfect? Ali.
Past perfect refers to a time earlier than before now. It is used to make that one event happened before another in the past.
Exactly. Good. What else?
Yes, and the structure is a subject plus auxiliary had or hadn't plus past participle.
Good. Very well. Exactly. That's how it works. So the past perfect, like you said, is the past of another past event, right? You use it when, you know, it's part of the narrative tenses, because when you do activities, when you mention about something that you did in the past, this could happen maybe before another activity. So that's when you use the past perfect. The past perfect, you use, for example, imagine that you have two events. I don't know. I drank coffee. I went to work. And I want to say that I drank coffee first after I went to work. Okay. So the first, the activity that happened first, it means before I went to work. Okay, so this would be like the second. Okay. So this will be like the oldest. Okay, and this will be like the newest or the closest to the present. Okay, so this one uses the past perfect, and this one simple past. Both are in the past, both actions, both events, but one happened before the other one, like your partner explained. So in this case, you would say, how will you write the sentence? In one sentence, how will you write these two sentences?
I had drunk coffee. After that, I went to work.
Very well. I had drunk coffee before I went to work. Good. Okay, so you say this past perfect because this happened before you went to work. Very well. Says Rocio, to explain, you have ever drunk Vaya Beans coffee? I didn't understand, but this is an example with present perfect. Okay, very well. So past perfect. Now, how about the past perfect continuous? I don't know if your microphone works. Rocio, past perfect continuous. When do we use the past perfect continuous? Okay, I think we have try to write on the chat. If you have problems with the microphone, try to write on the chat and I will read, okay? Then we will skip to Pau. Pau, when do we use the past perfect continuous?
When talk about an action that happened in the past before another action.
Exactly, is exactly the same as the past perfect, but more dramatic, okay? It's not the same. I have, I don't know, worked here, then I have been working here. Okay, so then the second one would be more. Here we have the examples, right? They had been working really hard on this project and now it's run. Okay, so when you use this, you emphasize the action. Okay, very well. Okay, that's the past tense. Now, future tense. Please explain, Cody, the future simple. When do we use it and what is the structure?
For future simple, is talk about predictions or actions that you decide at the moment. And the structure is to talk about in affirmative form is subject, will, verb in infinitive, and complement. To talk about in negative is subject, will not or won't in contractions, verb and complement, and interrogative form is will or won't, subject, verb, complement, and question mark.
Very good. So there are different kinds of future. First, we're going to focus on the tense because English is very rich when you talk about the future. You have a future with will, another kind of future. What else? What other future do we have?
Going to,
Going to,
Did very well. Be going to another
it can be with the
with
schedule,
present continuous.
present continuous, another
with the schedule,
with for schedules. We use the simple present. Yes, simple present
Yeah.
can be for future. We have be about to, but well, let's check first the future simple. Okay, so future simple is something that is a possibility. Okay, something that is we could say something that you're not sure 100%. Like you can say, in the future, the cars will fly. I don't know, right? Or you can talk about things for yourself, like I will buy a house in 5 years, but in 5 years, many things can change. So it's too early to make any plans, okay? So we use it for the next things. You can use future will for predictions. Future will for predictions. You can use it for
plan,
you can use not for plans, not for plans. We use be going to for
Offers.
plans. Sorry?
offer,
Offers.
Offers. Okay, good. You can use it for promises. You can use it for spontaneous decisions. Use for spontaneous decisions. Okay. And prophecies, we could say too. Prophecies. I mean, when you read prophecies, they are written with future. Okay, so that's the future simple. Okay. So we have future simple, like in the present simple, or we have the future continuous. So when do we use the future continuous, Ale? And what is the structure?
Okay, the future continuous refers to an unfinished action, or maybe an event that will be in progress at a time later than now. I remember that the structure is a subject plus simple feature of the verb to be, and plus present participle.
Okay, very well. So future continuous exactly is for things that we it's like we say, right? It's progressive, something that will be in progress in the future. Okay, something that is going to be in progress, but in the future. Okay, very well. So you can say, right? If you say, I am eating. So in the future, I will be eating at 5, for example. So don't bother me. Okay. After 5, maybe at 6, okay, I will be available. Very good. Okay, so then we have future perfect. What is the future perfect, Pau? And Rocio, you can write too on the chat. But okay, let's see, Pau. When do we use the future perfect?
We use future perfect when talk about that happen in the future, but in a specific time.
We call that a finished action, a finished activity in the future. So
Yeah.
for example, if I said you would say like something like, I did my homework. In the future, I will have finished my homework. Okay, a completed action in the future. And future perfect continuous is that we check with the present perfect continuous, with the past perfect continuous is to it be more dramatic. Okay, now let's check about other kinds of future. Okay, we have the future with be going to. When do we use future with be going to?
About plans.
For plans, very well. Be going to is for plans, very well. So be careful, don't use will for plans. It's be going to. When do we use the present perfect, the present continuous for future?
Is immediately future, maybe?
Is for is a future that is, we call it imminent, something that not like in 2 years, not like it's like very close future, like maybe tomorrow, maybe next week. Is something that we say like is an arrangement, something that will happen very soon. Very good. The Rocio said when is soon, you use the future, the present continuous for future. Be careful you don't confuse future continuous and present perfect for future, because sorry, not present perfect, present continuous for future, because it can be confusing sometimes, just the words. But yes, present perfect and present continuous for future, we use it for an arrangement. Is like, for example, a plan, but very, very well organized plan, or something imminent, or something that is like very short, like 99% sure. Okay. When do we use the simple present? Simple present, you can use it for future too. When do we use the simple present for future? Maybe you can give me some examples too with simple present for future.
When we talk about like plans with a short time.
Well, this future simple, not exactly for plans. Sorry, the simple present is not for plans, but it's for schedule activities, okay, or schedule events. For example, it's also like in Spanish, we say the bus passes at 9, for example. Sorry, where we did the bus passes at 9, okay? Or the bus arrives at 9. Or if you are at the airport, so you have a timetable. Timetable means horario. So these are events that depend on a schedule because they are very well planned. They're very well arranged. So everything that depends on a plan may be like this, like transportation. We always use the simple present. Okay, you can ask in English, for example, when does the next train arrive? And you mean the future. Excellent. The bus, in this case, the plane lands at 10, right? It's not 10 yet, but it's the future. So simple present is future. It's like exactly in Spanish, right? Because in Spanish we say pasa a las 10 o llega a esta hora, right? But it doesn't mean present. It means the future. Okay, very good. So everything that depends on a schedule, we use the simple present. Finally, we have be about to, or be on the verge of, right? Be about to or be on the verge of, quiere decir a punto de, right? Can you give me some examples with be about to and be on the verge of? You can write maybe some examples here using this be on the verge of and be about to. For example, I am about to, I don't know, travel to Venice. You can use the same with the verge of. You say, I am on the verge. Verge is very formal. On the verge of traveling to Venice. Okay, please give me some other examples using be about to and be on the verge of. Okay, I'm about to miss the bus. Come on, the film's about to start. I'm on the verge of visiting my family. Very well. Excellent examples. And well, finally, we're going to work on this Kahoot for the passive voice. That was another topic that you saw with teacher Jesse. So we will practice the Kahoot. Did you do the Kahoot about passive voice?
No, about passive voice, no.
Okay, very well. So we will work on it. There's Rocio. Very well. So we're going to please open Kahoot. You can go to kahoot.it. Or I'm going to send you the code. Can you just give me 1 second? Okay, and let's work together on this activity, this review of the passive voice. Okay, everyone, so let's go. We're going to do a few of these, and the next one's for, if will be for homework. Please join us. Let's do a bit of this. Okay, careful. So we say the verb sell is irregular. Okay, so maybe that's something you forgot. So yes, in this case, sell, the verb in past participle is sold. Okay, so object is our house, is being sold. Okay, let's go. Yeah, I think we didn't choose here any option. Okay, well, let's continue. Okay, very good. Well, here's the problem with the project, right? Needs to go with T. But yes, this is the correct one. Okay, very well. It's been written. Let's go. Very well. Okay, let's do one more. I think you're doing well. Very well. Okay, let's continue. Okay, very well. So we will complete this Kahoot for homework. I will send you the link so you can complete it. And well, we will see you there.